On Atlas, that stock's popped about 3% at the open. It's talking about sticking to its shipping guidance and its cash operating cost guidance unchanged. So in this environment, how important a statement is that?
You have to remember that Atlas has been battered in 2013. The stock's down a massive 46% in the year to date. Now, this is a company with low debt, a strong cash position, but it is a highly leveraged play in iron ore, and that's because of its expansion plans and its increasing cost base. So when you see a day like this, when we are expecting to see the materials sector doing well, you'd expect a stock like Atlas Iron to be doing better than its peers. Now, despite the bad weather that we've seen in the Pilbara region, as you mentioned, Carsten, a record shipment for Atlas coming through. So third quarter has seen a record shipment of 1.9 million tonnes. That's expected to rise in the next quarter up to 2.2 million tonnes. And if we have a look at the price, the average price realised for their standard product, $126 a tonne. Now that's quite good given that the cash costs are expected to come in at between $46 to $50 a tonne for the year. Now the cash position is still very strong, $404 million cash on hand, and that really does fund the expansion plans that it has for Horizon 1 in the second half of 2013 as well as the next financial year. It has reaffirmed its four-year forecast, but of course, with the share price down so much in 2013, we were expecting to see a good performance today. It's good to see Atlas performing well, up by 3%, and a very good, strong production report, which is only expected to become even stronger in the next quarter. Just
before we go, Julia, this story breaking as we came on air, James Hardie's in a trading halt. It's asked for that on the news of legal action by the New Zealand Ministry of Education against two of its James Hardie units and other parties. Is this the first that you have heard of this kind of action across the Tasman, or does it follow on from others that the company's had to face?
Well, we know one of the things that James Hardie has battled with over the last few years is asbestos claims, so it may be related to that. In terms of its underlying business, though, we are expecting those building material stocks to do well, and that's because of the US housing figures that were out overnight. We saw good US housing numbers as well as industrial production numbers, which helped the US stock market overnight. So James Hardie, it looks like another court case. You know, this is not unusual for the company. It has been held back by asbestos claims in the past, so it does look like another claim. I'll have to look into it in more detail, but its underlying business expected to be doing quite well because of this recovery that we are seeing in terms of the housing market in the US. So those building material stocks should do well.
That's interesting. Yeah, the housing start number was good, but if you go under the bonnet, the building permits, that's the forward indicator of future construction activity, lowest level since November 2012.
We are seeing, I guess, the numbers being a little bit shaky, but overall, I guess the consensus is that we are seeing a recovery in terms of US housing, and that's been good news for those building material stocks, even though we have seen quite a bit of volatility in that material space. But all in all, that material space should outperform on the market today, so it should be a good one for the miners, for the building product companies, and hopefully for gold stocks as well.
They have scrapped that call today. They have gone backwards by 14% in their longer-term projections for full year. What do you make of it in terms of market conditions leading to this call?
Sorry, I missed the company.
Ausdrill. Mining services.
If we have a look at that mining services area, it's been absolutely smashed in 2013, and for a good reason as well. Expectations that CapEx cliff faced by the Australian economy will have a big impact, and of course most contractors are price takers, and with the mining companies like BHP, Rio, Fortescue looking at cutting costs, I guess the area which really impacts quite strongly is the contracting area. In looking at contractors, I guess the exploration side of things has been a real negative, but I guess more positive in terms of that oil and gas area, given that we are seeing some huge LNG projects coming online. But if they are exposed to the bulks, then it is a very difficult time. So unfortunately, another mining services company coming out with a profit downgrade, and this is not a trend that is unexpected. We've seen that throughout the year with these mining services companies' share prices coming under a fair bit of pressure.
Yeah.